You warned me about someone you call family. What he revealed made me physically sick. It happened just after the third watch. The hour when shadows stretch longer and silence becomes a sanctuary for heaven's whispers. The veil between realms grew thin, and in that quiet, something ancient stirred. A silence broke, not a silence of sleep or peace, but one that trembled with the weight of impending revelation. And in that trembling, he came. Archangel Michael, with a countenance carved from divine fire and a voice soaked in eternal justice, stood in the stillness. He did not shout. He did not demand. He whispered just one name, and the moment that name was spoken, the air changed. Something shifted in the unseen. The spirit realm groaned. A veil lifted. And yes, I felt my body tremble beneath the intensity of the moment. That name, that one name, cracked open a hidden war. This was not just a visitation. This was not merely a vision. This was a holy unveiling, a sacred exposure, a warning drenched in divine urgency. But hear me, this message is not for all. This is not for the casual or the carnal. This is not for the ear that mocked or the heart that doubts. No, this word is for the marked, for the chosen, for the anointed who have endured betrayal but kept their hands clean, for those whose hearts are still, even when they have been shattered in silence. If you are still, if you are clean, if your suspicion has been long-standing but you had no proof, then this is your confirmation. You felt it, the unease, the ache, the whisper in your spirit that someone close to you has not been clean. You've seen the shift in their eyes. You've caught the slip in their speech. You've watched how they shrink when you mention the things of God. You've asked silently, is it just me? No, it is not just you. This is the unveiling. This is the holy notice from heaven. Someone you call family has been hiding a serpent in their mouth. This message comes with weight. This message must be received in fear, not fear of man, but fear of God. Reverence. Holy trembling. Because what is about to be revealed will not just shock you. It may make you physically sick. The betrayal is not symbolic. It is not a metaphor. It is a spiritual conspiracy clothed in family ties. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. By divine permission and not of my own will, I speak now what hath been sealed until this hour. I, Archangel Michael, come not with comfort, but with clarity. Not with flattery, but with fire. For you have waited, you have wept, and you have wondered why the ache in your spirit will subside. Tonight, I speak because heaven has opened the scrolls that were hidden from you. The seal has broken, and with its opening, I bring a name, a warning, and a shift. In the next 3 hours, says the Spirit of the living God, there will be a shift in your home. The air will change. The atmosphere will thicken. You will feel something pass through your room. Do not fear it. Recognize it. It is the holy confrontation of the invisible realm with the visible lie. It is the divine pushing through the familiar, calling your attention to what you have ignored out of love, out of fear, or out of denial. But no more denial. No more covering for what has been corrupt behind your back. You have been too close, too trusting, too silent. You were loyal to a fault. You forgave quickly. You turned the other cheek more times than you had strength for. But they mistook your grace for weakness. They sat at your table but plotted behind your back. They smiled in your presence but clenched their fists in secret rooms. They ate your bread but cursed your name. and heaven watched. The courts of heaven recorded every interaction. And now, judgment begins. Hear me clearly. This is not a parable. This is not poetic. This is not a dream. This is a divine investigation made public. The one who eats with you harbors poison in their heart. There is venom behind their laughter. Their agreement with darkness has formed a legal case in the spirit. And the reason you've been restless, sick in your body, uneasy in your sleep, and suddenly repulsed by their presence is because your spirit has begun to reject what your soul still claims to. You've been chosen to hear what many ignored. Others were warned, but turned away. They refused to believe that betrayal could come from a name that shares their blood. But you are chosen to receive this holy intelligence. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not broken. You are awakened. And with awakening comes the burden of sight. What heaven is showing you cannot be unseen. What heaven is exposing cannot be dismissed. What heaven is revealing cannot be covered again. The next time they speak, you will hear the spirit behind their words. The next time they smile, you will see the shadow behind their teeth. You will discern the spiritual war that has been masquerading as a family issue. You will see their resistance to your calling, not as personality clash, but as a coordinated attempt from the pit to delay your destiny. This warning is sacred. It is sealed in fire and sent by divine urgency. And not everyone will understand. Not everyone will accept that the one who rocked your child to sleep is the same one who cursed your name to strangers. Not everyone can process that the one who holds the same last name holds a different spirit. But you were never called to be like everyone. You were called to carry truth, even when it burns. Now is not the time to speak. Now is the time to prepare. In silence, in stillness, in prayer. Lay your hand on your chest and declare, I am not blind. I am not deaf. I am chosen to see. Because what's coming is not confrontation by your hand, but exposure by heaven's decree. The fire is beginning to fall, and what is true will stand, and what is false will burn. Let this be your invocation. Heaven, open my eyes. Guard my spirit. Give me courage to see, and grace to endure what I cannot unsee. You are not alone. The armies of heaven are already in position. The wind is shifting. The judgment is beginning. And the hand that tried to destroy you will soon be revealed. Type I am covered in the comments if this message is for you. Blessing code 444 is now released over your household. There is a silence that does not bring peace. A silence that suffocates. A silence that follows the mention of certain names. Have you noticed it? The sudden change in tone. The awkward pause when you ask a simple question. The way their eyes shift. The way the atmosphere tenses when you enter the room. These are not coincidences. These are signals. These are spiritual symptoms of a deeper sickness, one that has been festering in secret places and familiar faces. Whispers. Whispers that end when your footsteps echo down the hallway. Conversations that once flowed now halt midstream. Laughter that dies the moment you appear. They look at each other, not because they admire you, but because they fear you might see too much. And you do. Your spirit does. Even when your mind tries to dismiss it, your spirit cannot deny it. The uneasiness, the sudden chills, the migraines, the emotional withdrawal, these are not random. They are alarms. They are the cries of the spirit warning you. The one you call family is not what they seem. This is the kind of betrayal that bleeds deeper than a wound, because it hides in trust. It wears the mask of familiarity. It shows up in smiles and I love yous, but behind the mask is a motive, a motive forged in jealousy, wrapped in wounded pride, and empowered by unspoken agreements with darkness. You have long felt a distance that had no name. You have long sensed an undercurrent of resentment that never spoke aloud. But in the spirit realm, their secrets scream, loud, violent, chaotic. They scream accusations. They scream envy. They scream curses. And you've been catching the residue. You wake up tired, even after 8 hours. You feel nauseous in rooms where they've lingered. You notice the atmosphere is heavier in their presence. Your body reacts. Your dreams shift. Your peace trembles. That is not emotional instability. That is spiritual perception. Your body has become a prophetic sensor. You're not imagining it. You're discerning it. The Spirit has been trying to reveal what your loyalty has been shielding. And now, the veil is lifting. Not all blood ties are blessed by heaven. Not all kinship is covenant. Cain was Abel's brother. Judas dipped bread with Jesus. Absalom shared David's name. Do not let shared DNA blind you to divided spirits. Do not let shared history blind you to hidden hostility. Family in the natural does not always mean alignment in the supernatural. And the one you've embraced as blood may be standing in agreement with what has tried to break you for years. They smile behind gritted teeth. They cheer you on but clench their fists when you win. They quote scripture but carry bitterness. And all the while, they have been used, yes, used, as a pawn in a demonic chessboard, positioned to delay your movement, deter your progress, and discourage your spirit. But tonight, the exposure has begun. Heaven has decided it is time to draw the curtain back. And what you feel in your body is a result of what is being revealed in the spirit. This sickness in your soul, this unease in your belly, is heaven's way of making sure you don't ignore the signs any longer. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not unstable. You are in transition. You are waking up. You are spiritually aligning. And as the light increases, the hidden things will scream for cover. But hear this, you will not break. You will not collapse. You will not be taken under by the grief of this betrayal. For this is not just emotional, it is prophetic. This is the shaking before the shifting. This is the confirmation of what you already knew but feared to face. Heaven is confronting what you tried to accommodate. God is removing what you tried to defend. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you're not already subscribed, now is the time. Join this channel for prophetic messages, divine strategies, and revelations that align your walk with heaven's voice. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. And now listen carefully. This is not merely a family issue. This is not just personality conflict or household tension. This is not about misunderstood words or past trauma. This is spiritual infiltration. This is enemy placement. This is war dressed in familiarity. What you are dealing with is a carefully constructed assault from the enemy using the face of someone you love to pierce the armor of your calling. This is ancient warfare. This is generational jealousy. This is not emotional. It is strategic. It is hell's attempt to delay what heaven has released over you. You were born marked. Heaven placed a seal on your life. Before you spoke your first word, angels were assigned to your name. Before you walked, destiny walked with you. But because you were marked, the enemy marked you too. And that mark attracted warfare. It summoned resistance, not just from enemies, but from people close to you. Not because they hated you, but because their spirits couldn't handle your elevation. Your anointing disturbed their insecurity. Your favor exposed their lack of alignment. And instead of being drawn to your light, they chose to resent it. What you thought was a family argument was actually a spiritual rebellion. What you thought was a disagreement was actually a clash of kingdoms. A resistance to you is a resistance to your assignment. And God says, I have seen what was done in secret. I have heard the whispers behind closed doors. I have recorded every false agreement made in envy. And now, I expose it not to shame, but to release. This is not the time to fight them in the natural. The test is not how they act. The test is how you respond. Will you rise above or will you descend into the drama? Will you stay positioned or be provoked? Because make no mistake, this is spiritual. They are not rejecting you. They are rejecting the oil on your life. They cannot see it, but they feel it. And demons in them cannot submit to the God in you. But fear not. Angels surround your name like a fortress. You are not unprotected. You are not vulnerable. Heaven has built a wall around your spirit, and no dart from the enemy will penetrate it, unless you allow offense to open the gate. So guard your heart. Guard your reactions. Guard your posture. The war is real. The pain is deep. But the promise is greater. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. This exposure is not punishment, it's preparation. You're being trained in real time. You're being awakened to patterns. You're being elevated beyond dependency. What heaven is doing in you will outlast this conflict. Let your response be silence and separation. Let heaven fight. Let angels deal with it. Do not confront what God is convicting. Do not correct what heaven is judging. The exposure will come. A confrontation will manifest. And when it does, you will be found blameless, pure, still, and full of authority. Type I am a weapon in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 777 is now activated over your life. Hear now the word of the Lord spoken through the voice of his warrior. Archangel Michael says, a confrontation is drawing near, not one of chaos, but one of clarity. A divine moment is approaching in which the truth will no longer be able to hide behind politeness, tradition, or bloodlines. Something is already shifting. The countdown has begun. And in the next 72 hours, something will provoke truth to rise like fire through dry grass. Heaven is about to allow a disruption so holy, so piercing, that it will strip the mask from the one who walks beside you but hides poison in their heart. Prepare yourself. The confrontation will not come by your will, but it will come by divine design. A slip of the tongue, a misplaced text, a reaction that goes too far. These will not be accidents. They will be orchestrated by heaven's courtroom to give you undeniable confirmation. For too long, you have sensed it, felt it, doubted yourself, pushed it down, made excuses for them, gave them more chances than they deserved. But no more. The time has come. Truth will now expose the serpent wearing family skin. This is not the moment to engage in arguments. Do not raise your voice. Do not let your flesh speak louder than your discernment. This is not about revenge. This is about divine exposure. What has been whispered in shadow will soon be declared in the light. You will overhear what was meant to be hidden. You will witness the reaction they never intended for you to see. You will recognize the spirit that's been resisting your progress all along. Michael says, be alert. Watch it. Stay spiritually sharp. Discern without distraction. Because the enemy will try to bait you into carnal conflict to disrupt your peace and rob your strength before the final unveiling. Don't take the bait. Don't be provoked. Your silence in this season is your sword. Your stillness is your strike. Emotional turbulence is a sign of spiritual pressure, and pressure reveals what cannot remain hidden. You will feel tension. You will feel your chest tighten. You will sense something shifting in the atmosphere. These are not feelings of fear. They are the echoes of the spirit realm preparing for exposure. The person who harbors betrayal will begin to fidget. Their speech will grow erratic. They will accuse. They will deflect. And all of it will serve heaven's purpose, to expose what you've carried for too long in the dark. The confrontation will come, but it is not yours to orchestrate. It is heaven's. And the only preparation required from you is prayer, posture, and peace. Lock your mouth in divine silence. Keep your heart in heavenly alignment. And do not be moved by their accusations, their tears, or their manipulation. For what is being revealed is not just emotional, it is spiritual. And what heaven exposes, no man can cover again. The trap they set is about to ensnare them. The lie they told is about to be echoed back in their own voice. You do not need revenge. You do not need a response. What you need is obedience. Be still. Be aware. Be grounded in the Word. The courtroom of heaven has already ruled in your favor, and now the earth must reflect what has been declared in the Spirit. Type I am ready in the comments if you feel the shift. Blessing code 5656 is now being released over your timeline. Be still. Be still and know that heaven wars for you in ways you cannot see. Do not confuse stillness with weakness. Do not interpret silence as surrender. The Spirit of God thunders louder in silence than man does in shouts. Archangel Michael declares, withdraw. Pull back. This is not retreat. This is divine positioning. Heaven is calling you out of the crowd so it can crown you in secret. You are being repositioned for protection, and protection must come before promotion. Vasa. Turn your plate down. Sanctify your time. Use this season to build your angelic defense. Every hour you give to heaven will become a wall of fire around your mind. Every moment you silence your flesh becomes a weapon in the Spirit. You are not called to confront the betrayer. You are called to outlast them. You are not called to expose them. You are called to endure them until heaven does the exposing itself. Guard your words. Now more than ever, the enemy seeks to twist what you say and use it against you. Say nothing in haste. Say nothing in frustration. Say nothing to defend yourself. You are being watched, not just by man, but by angels who are taking record of your obedience. The test is in your restraint. Let your words drip with wisdom or let them remain unspoken. You will win this war in quietness and confidence, not in clamor or retaliation. You've been divinely instructed to step back. Withdraw your energy. Withdraw your approval. Withdraw your agreement. They do not know that heaven has already marked their exposure. You are not required to issue warnings. You are not called to play detective. The betrayer is walking into their own judgment, and your job is to step out of the way. Divine justice is not delayed. It is in motion. Do not interrupt the divine process by trying to fix what God is trying to uncover. Repeat after me. even now. I am covered. I am hidden in him. No weapon formed shall prosper. I am protected by fire. These are not empty words. These are war cries. These are declarations that unlock supernatural covering. Your obedience is your shield. Your silence is your sword. And your prayer is your armor. Do not allow guilt to make you reach back. Do not allow manipulation to pull you out of alignment. Do not allow false remorse to confuse you. God is not only revealing truth, He is training you to walk in divine authority. You are being taught to move like royalty. You are being taught to listen to the Spirit above all. You are being taught to let heaven lead. Let divine justice unfold. Let heaven complete what it has begun. Do not interfere. Do not try to save someone who has agreed with your destruction. They must now face what they've sown. They must now encounter the same God who saw every lie, every spell, every curse released in secret. They are not escaping. They are being positioned for exposure, for reckoning, for judgment. And you are being covered. Be silent. Be still. Be faithful. And watch the justice of God thunder on your behalf. Type "I am hidden in him" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1313 is surrounding your decisions and your household right now. You are not who they remember. You are not who they last wounded. You are not the same person who cried alone in that room, questioning your worth, questioning your discernment, questioning if the pain in your chest was your own fault. Beloved, that version of you has died. That version of you went into the fire. That version of you was buried in betrayal. But this version of you is resurrection. This version of you has risen with power, authority, and eyes that see beyond appearances. The betrayal didn't break you. It built you. Heaven says, you have ascended. You've been upgraded in the spirit. You've been promoted in the invisible before it manifests in the natural. What used to break you now bows before your voice. What used to intimidate you now flees at your presence. You've been forged in a fire that only heaven could command. While they thought they were destroying you, they were actually digging the grave for your old self. And what has come out of that grave is not a victim, it is a vessel of power. The pain sharpened you. The rejection refined you. The isolation purified you. And the silence taught you the sound of God's voice. While they were planning your downfall, heaven was planning your unveiling. While they whispered in secret, heaven warred over your destiny. You are now walking in a dimension where you no longer need to be loud to be heard. Your very presence releases authority. Your very stillness shifts atmospheres. You no longer need to defend yourself, because divine backing speaks louder than earthly arguments. They wanted you to react. They wanted you to rage. But heaven trained you in silence. Heaven fortified you in obedience. And because you passed the test of restraint, you've been handed keys to realms others only dream of. Your silence was not weakness, it was sacred warfare. Every tear you wept privately is now currency in the courts of heaven. You paid in tears what others tried to buy in pride. And now the heavens are answering your secret intercessions. You are no longer operating as someone hoping to be seen. You are now walking as someone chosen, marked, and backed by the commander of angel armies. The betrayal was the gate. The heartbreak was the furnace. But the revelation is the reward. Now you speak, and atmospheres shift. Now you walk, and spirits flee. Now you discern not with suspicion, but with authority. Heaven has upgraded your discernment. Your eyes now scan beyond flesh. You hear tones, not just words. You perceive movements, not just actions. You sense motives, not just behaviors. You are no longer available for manipulation. You are no longer vulnerable to dissection. You are now a weapon in the spirit, not a wounded soul. You are heaven's response to what the enemy planted in your bloodline. From this point forward, do not lower yourself to be understood. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Your silence is a mantle. Your stillness is a sword. Your obedience is an altar. Stand firm. Walk dull. Let the oil in your life speak for itself. The tables are turning. The power is shifting. And the same people who questioned your silence will soon fear the roar behind your stillness. Type "I am a weapon" in his hand in the comments if you receive this elevation. Blessing code 0909 is now covering your next move. This had to happen, says the Lord. Yes, even this. Even the betrayal. Even the confusion. Even the weeping that left you breathless on your bedroom floor. It had to happen, not to break you, but to release you. You were loyal to what heaven was trying to remove. You were tied to people who were spiritually blocking your forward motion. You held on to history while heaven was calling you into destiny. So God had to break the bond himself. They were familiar chains, comfortable, accepted, emotionally embedded. But they were chains nonetheless. And heaven could not allow you to carry them into your next season. So the chain snapped. Not quietly, not painlessly, but divinely. What felt like loss was liberation. What felt like betrayal was breakthrough. What felt like the end was your divine reset. This confrontation, this exposure, it is not just a personal awakening. It is a prophetic unlocking. The doors that were kept shut by their presence, by their jealousy, by their resistance, those doors are now swinging wide. You were loyal to people who didn't just misunderstand you. They were opposing the mantle on your life. And heaven could no longer allow the delay. You prayed for acceleration, didn't you? You cried out for promotion. But heaven could not elevate you while you were yoked to what dishonored you. You couldn't go higher while being entangled with someone who secretly resented your rise. So the sword came down. The separation began. The exposure erupted. And now, the release has come. Heaven has spoken your name in divine meetings. Your name has been echoed in the throne room. Angels were dispatched with your name on their scrolls. There is documentation in glory that your obedience was noted, your sacrifice recorded, and your pain acknowledged. You are not forgotten. You are favored. And now that the resistance is being removed, the release has begun. New doors, new alignments, new realms. You will begin to see movement in areas that were once blocked. Emails, calls, ideas. Things will now begin to flow where there was once delay. Heaven was not ignoring you, it was protecting you. Had you been promoted earlier, they would have poisoned it. Had the doors opened before, they would have walked in with you. But now that the confrontation has exposed their intentions, heaven says, now I can trust you with the next level. You were not delayed, you were preserved. The timing is not late. It is strategic. The exposure didn't stop your blessing. It cleared the way for it. Heaven hath been rearranging your life for this very moment. The old cycle has ended. The old alliances are crumbling. And your spirit already knows it. That restlessness, that sudden energy, that pull to move forward, it's not random. It's alignment. A new season has begun. And the shift won't just be spiritual, it will be visible. They will watch the very one they tried to block become a beacon of God's power. They will see your face in places they said you'd never enter. They will hear your name in rooms they tried to keep you out of. And they will wonder why favor follows you so ferociously. It's because you were willing to let go. You were willing to release what couldn't come with you. If this message resonates with you and you feel led to support, consider sewing a super thanks today. Your gift of $20 helps us keep creating these prophetic messages that stir the spirit and shift the soul. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for weekly messages that expose lies, unlock destiny, and empower your walk with God. Type I am released in the comments to seal this word. Blessing code 1717 is now declaring freedom over your next steps. Declare this aloud now. I release what doesn't carry my future. Say it again. Let your voice shake the walls of your limitations. Let your sound be heard in the heavens. Because what you release right now determines what heaven releases next. The time has come to sever the final tie, to renounce the last soul-binding emotion, and to step into the arena of your calling without any residue of what tried to delay you. You are not going back. You cannot go back. And the Spirit of the Lord says, you must stand alone before you stand above. This is the separation before elevation. This is the loneliness before the legacy. This is the hallway between the betrayal and the breakthrough. Do not mourn what left. Do not grieve what was removed. Do not try to resurrect what heaven has buried. There is no future in what heaven has disqualified. That relationship, that connection, that false loyalty, it was a test. And you passed. Now comes the activation. Now comes the charge. You are not simply being restored, you are being released as a weapon. There's an assignment that has been waiting for your full surrender. There's a region waiting for your voice. There's a generation waiting for your obedience. You are not small. You are not random. You are not forgotten. The enemy hoped the betrayal would break you, but God used it to build you into someone dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Everything you've walked through, the late nights, the silent tears, the dreams delayed, the friendships lost, it was preparation. It was divine pressure sculpting your character. God was not punishing you. He was positioning you. You were never just surviving. You were being trained. Now your yes carries power. Now your obedience shifts bloodlines. Now your silence echoes louder than your words. The next move depends on your obedience, not your emotions, not your comfort. Obedience is the gate. Heaven is not waiting on your perfection. It's waiting on your full agreement. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need another sign. You heard enough. You've seen enough. Now is the time to say yes with your life. Say yes with your schedule. Say yes with your discipline. Heaven is looking for agreement, not excuses. You must refuse to shrink. You must refuse to settle. You must refuse to engage emotionally with those who don't carry the vision. Everyone cannot go. Everyone cannot understand. Some were never meant to last past your wilderness. Do not explain your shift. Do not apologize for your elevation. Do not mourn who refuses to rise. This is your moment to align with divine purpose and walk in posture. Favor has a buzzard. Favor has a stance. You must begin to walk like the crown vessel you are. This is your call to rise into the role they said you'd never qualify for. This is your divine appointment. You were not just born for this, you were forged for this. No more second guessing. No more emotional attachments to outdated alliances. No more shrinking to make others comfortable. You are the answer to prayers you haven't even heard yet. You are the solution heaven wants to plant in the middle of confusion. You are light. You are salt. You are the vessel that walked through fire and didn't burn. Declare it again. I release what doesn't carry my future. With every syllable, chains break. With every declaration, destiny activates. You are stepping into what they said was impossible. You are becoming what they thought would be buried. You are entering the fullness of what the enemy tried to abort. You have crossed over. Type I have crossed over in the comments to activate blessing code 8181. Your future has now been commanded by heaven. While you were asleep, while your flesh was resting, and your mind was unconscious, something holy happened. A silent exchange occurred in the spirit realm, unseen by natural eyes, untouched by earthly interference. Angels, bearing scrolls and swords, descended with your name written in light. They hovered over you, hustled. They stood at the edges of your dreams. And they began to war, not with noise, not with chaos, but with divine silence. A silence more powerful than any earthly scream. A silence that shakes strongholds. A silence that speaks louder than betrayal. In this exchange, bloodline names were mentioned. Generational covenants were examined. Heaven did not forget the prayers your grandmother whispered. Heaven did not ignore the obedience you gave when no one was watching. There had been a retrieval of honor, of identity, of inheritance. God is restoring what was handed over to impostors. He is reclaiming what was spoken away by curses, what was given away by ignorance, what was stolen by deception. Your name has been found in the archives of glory. Your name is being rewritten on a scroll of restoration. This is not metaphor. This is not imagination. This is spiritual transaction. In the unseen realm, legal documents are shifting. What once bound your bloodline is now being revoked. What once limited your legacy is now being dismantled. Heaven is trading sorrow for strategy. Heaven is replacing confusion with clarity. And the Spirit of the Lord says, rest, for your strength is in stillness. You will wake up and feel the shift. Your appetite will change. Your perspective will deepen. Your discernment will sharpen. Because your spirit already knows something has happened. A weight has lifted. A fog has cleared. What once made you weary no longer holds power. What once drained you now exposes itself. You are no longer vulnerable to what once seduced you. There's a divine immunity resting on your soul. The scrolls of your life are being corrected. The lines are being rewritten. The names that once carried curses are now being aligned with covenant. Heaven is performing a divine exchange. Beauty for ashes, oil of joy for mourning, garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. This is the Isaiah 61 moment. This is where God reclaims the narrative written by trauma and replaces it with a testimony forged in truth. Every tear you wept watered the battlefield. Every sleepless night sowed into the angelic war for your freedom. Your pain became intercession. Your heartbreak became holy incense. And now the field is blooming. The ground that once bore the weight of betrayal now carries the fragrance of victory. You are walking into a field heaven has cultivated with your sorrow, and now it will bloom with divine justice. Trust the silence. Trust the stillness. Trust the moments where nothing seems to be happening, because that is when heaven is most active. You don't need to force the change. You don't need to chase the closure. The trade has already happened. The scroll has already turned. The shift has already begun. And when you feel that moment, the weight lift, the clarity come, the joy rise. Know this, it is the evidence of the transaction. It is the proof that the silent war has ended in your favor. It is the sign that heaven has declared, it is done. Type "IT is done" in the comments to seal the silent victory. Blessing code 2929 is now resting on your sleep, your mind, and your legacy. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord, and I have begun. You need not lift a hand. You need not prove your side of the story. You need not waste breath defending yourself to people who already decided against you in their hearts. Because the Holy Judge has stepped into the room. The case is no longer in your hands. It is now before the throne. And God, who saw every lie, every slight, every strategic silence, every manipulative gesture, has kept perfect records. And heaven does not lose receipts. What they did in shadows, what they spoke in whispers, what they conspired in secrecy, heaven is bringing it into the light. What they cursed with their words, heaven is now reversing with declarations of favor. They spoke curses against your name. They laced their laughter with mockery. They used truth as a weapon and twisted it to paint you as unstable, unpredictable, unworthy. But they forgot that your name is written in the Lamb's book, and God has now reversed the verdict. The reversal has already begun. It's subtle now, but soon it will be undeniable. Things are shifting. The same mouths that cursed you will be silenced. The same hands that withheld from you will now be forced to watch your tables overflow. The very ones who questioned your survival will now marvel at your elevation. This is not vindication by vengeance. This is vindication by visibility. God is going to let them see you rise. Not to shame them, but to show them that He alone decides who sits and who stands, who rises and who falls. You waited. You suffered in silence. You've been accused of things your heart never intended. But you kept your mouth. You held your posture. You allowed heaven to keep you hidden while others flaunted false narratives. But now God says, I have preserved you for this exact moment. There is a great revealing coming. And those who once celebrated your downfall will be confused by your resurrection. They will wonder how. They will ask why. But they will not be able to stop it. Heaven has rendered judgment. What they sowed in shadows is about to grow in full sun. There will be no more delay. There will be no more confusion. God is setting the record straight. There will be reversals in your name. Reversals in finances. Reversals in favor. Reversals in open doors. Things you thought were lost forever are now circling back, not because of coincidence, but because divine justice has summoned them. What was withheld is now being released. What was blocked is now being bulldozed. And they will see it. Those who smiled while stabbing. Those who gave you the seat at the table just to pull it from under you. Those who cloaked sabotage in sweet words. Those who tried to bury your name under opinions and assumptions. They will see the glory fall upon you. They will see the oil dripping from your head. They will see your name called forth in rooms where they said you'd never qualify. They will watch, confused, because God didn't consult them before He chose you. This is your divine reversal. Not by force, not by fight, but by fire. The fire of justice, the fire of correction, the fire of heaven that consumes lies and leaves only truth standing. You will walk past them, not in arrogance, but in authority. You will look into the eyes of the same people who said you were too broken, and they will see the shine of the one who rebuilt you. You've been judged in human courts. Now be justified in divine ones. You've been overlooked by man. Now be crowned by heaven. The season of suppression has ended. The season of revelation has begun. If this word has confirmed what your spirit has carried, consider sowing a super thanks in support of this ministry. $5, $10, or even $20. Every seed helps bring more clarity, more truth, and more deliverance to those who need it. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe. Your next revelation, your next confirmation, your next unlocking may be just one message away. Type "He is my defender" in the comments if this message is yours. Blessing code 6464 is releasing reversal over your enemies. And now, beloved, let this be sealed in the realm of heaven and echoed in the earth. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. A war you fought in silence did not go unnoticed. The battles you endured without applause have crowned you with unseen glory. And now the Spirit of the Lord says, no curse can stick. No lie can last. No weapon shall prosper. Because your name hath been written in the divine records of favor, and your steps are now commanded by light. What was once hidden from you is now fully revealed. No more stumbling in the dark. No more questioning if you were wrong to feel what you felt. You saw correctly. You discerned clearly. You were not paranoid. You were not broken. You were awake. And now, heaven honors that discernment by surrounding you with wisdom, protection, and undeniable peace. Let no fear live in your chest after this message. Let no anxiety speak in your ears. Let no shadow of doubt weigh your feet. For the Lord has gone before you. The Lord has stood beside you. And the Lord has covered your rear guard. From this day forward, you walk in power. Not just emotional strength, but spiritual fire. A fire that purifies your path. A fire that draws the right people and repels the wrong ones. A fire that destroys every lie, every dart, every delay. Speak in peace, but move in force. Your words will carry new way. Your presence will be felt in rooms before you speak. You are now recognized in heaven as a carrier of righteousness and in hell as a threat to every assignment that tried to derail your purpose. Every stolen moment is being returned. Every missed opportunity is being recovered. Every divine connection that was blocked is being restored. Your relationships will be purified. Your finances will flow. Your health will align. Your future will stand up straight and wait for your arrival. Because the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it, and this is your portion. No more lack. No more leeches. No more late seasons. Everything stolen is returning. Everything hidden is being revealed. You are not late. You are right on time. You are not overlooked. You are God's answer to this hour. You are not small. You are heaven's vessel in the earth. You are not confused. You are now aligned. And this was not just a message. It was your release. It was your commissioning. It was your shift from suspicion to confirmation, from pain to power, from trauma to triumph. Walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in posture. Stand with your shoulders square, not in arrogance, but in awareness. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. And now you are commissioned. Go forth, not to explain yourself, but to establish yourself. Go forth, not to plead your case, but to occupy your space. Go forth, not in fear, but in fire. This was your warning and your release. This was your moment of divine turning. From this point forward, you will never walk as you once did. From this point forward, you carry the oil of clarity, the garment of discernment, the mantle of justice, and the stamp of divine favor. Go forth, beloved, heaven has spoken. Type I am sent in the comments to confirm this closing blessing. Final blessing code 3030 is sealed over your destiny.